Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, and that is the R in the RK Stumblingbear, and I'm a reader and a writer. And I'm back to do a book haul video. I don't do these very often, but this year I have made the conscious effort to keep track of the books that I'm buying or acquiring, so I figured let's go ahead and have some fun. And if you're new to my channel, you might not realize that I film in front of my TBR shelves. So you see my fantasy shelf immediately behind me and my sci-fi like lower down. So if you're paying attention, you can kind of see what books are moving in and out of a space. The first book I acquired in January was The Dark Forest by Shanlu, I'm not sure how you say it. In 2024, I became more financially stable, and I decided one of the gifts I was going to give to myself was the Broken Binding subscription for sci-fi. Signed up to get all three of this series. Now, I've only read the first one, The Three-Body Problem, and I was okay on it. But everyone I've talked to has says that The Dark Forest and Death's End is much better. So I got this nice pretty edition from the Broken Binding. The naked hardback is just plain, but they do have these nice, lovely end papers that are scenes from the book. Lovely, lovely. And now, I know some people, they buy pretty editions to just sit on their shelves. That is not me. I will be reading out of this edition. And then something I've been waiting for years is a bind-up of the first four novellas in the Murderbot Diaries. And so they finally did it, and I grabbed Murderbot 1 and 2 and Murderbot 3 and 4. So I do already own one in the original cover paperback, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity for all of them together. And I didn't realize there was a sticker on that. That's annoying. I will work on getting that sticker off later, but that does annoy me. And then I got James by Percival Everett. This book has been on many favorite lists from the 2024 year, and I know that this is based off of the character Jim from Huckleberry Finn and his story in his own words. I purchased my own copy of Orla Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. This is by Margaret Pernard and a historical fiction, which is something that Margaret loves to do. And this book came to my attention because I follow Margaret Pernard on her channel. She's a author tuber and booktuber who talks about social justice issues, and her historical fiction talks about those as well. So I'm very excited to get to read this. I was hoping to have read it in January, beginning of February. Didn't get to it quite, but I own it, so I can pick it up whenever. And then I purchased The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I don't physically have it with me right now because I've loaned it to my mom, who likes reading mysteries. But this was one of my favorite books of 2024. I then have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And again, this was on many favorites list from 2024 from other people, so figured I'd pick it up. It's actually going to be my first Abby Jimenez, and I know technically this isn't a series, but also with romance, you can read them in whatever order, so this is the one I'll be starting with. And also from many, many people's best of list in 2024, I have Role Playing. So I know it's another romance set with, I think, older adults. Yeah, I'm really picky about my contemporary romance, so it's going to be interesting. Then I got Friction by S.J. Lee. This is one of the books from the self-published science fiction contest. As a volunteer judge, I do get a copy of the books that we read digitally, but I prefer reading physically. So this is one I actually read digitally, but bought a copy because I know I'm going to want to reread it, and I think book 2 is coming out this year. I purchased You Are Celestially by Al Hess, same thing, self-published science fiction contest. This was one of the quarterfinalists that I had not read at the time of purchasing it. I have read it now. It's a fun romp where the AI of a resurrection company falls in love and hijinks ensue. Same thing, we're just going to go through all of those. Another one of our quarterfinalists was Our Lady of the Articulates. I think that's how you say it. Artilix? I am not certain. And this is by Andrew Gilsmith. And I have not finished reading this one yet. From the self-published science fiction contest, I have Grave Cold by Shannon Knight. Did not make our quarterfinals list, but I really enjoyed reading it, and I know I'm going to want to reread it, so I bought my own copy. Enigma by Ryan Southwick, also with the self-published and science fiction contest. I'm about halfway through this one, so hoping to have it read before the end of, well, actually, by the end of this week that I'm filming, but definitely need to have it read by the beginning of March. St. Elspeth by WIC Welker, another science fiction, another self-published science fiction contest book. This one is a dystopian set on Earth, near future kind of world, just barely started. I have Drowning Earth by Sean Wilson, also a self-published science fiction contest book that I did read digitally and then purchased it again, same as Of Friction. I think the second book is going to be coming out soon, and I'm really interested to see where this goes. This is like a sci-fi thriller on a submarine. I got Culinary Confessions by Joanne Lambo. This is someone I have met on the AuthorTube sphere and indie author. Definitely am reading this for the Black AuthorTube readathon that Margaret Pennard does, and this author is just so sweet. Every time I am in a chat with her, it always is like, hi, even though I'm not much of a chatter. I'm usually more of a lurker, so I'll be like, hi, that's pretty much it. I know it's a contemporary romance. All right, the last physical book I have purchased is Death's End by Cixin Liu. Has these nice end papers. Very beautiful copy. I forgot to say that with The Dark Forest, I'm supposed to be reading it with a Goodreads buddy read group I'm in, I think in September, but I have the copies early. I'm good. And then I have 3 Audibles. I tend to get Audible books or audiobooks to listen to that are nonfiction. I have a really hard time listening to fiction books. I get irritated with how the narrator narrates characters. It's just a personal thing for me. So I don't typically get them. In this case, I did. I got Constituent Service by John Scalzi, and I think this is an Audible original, and it's only an Audible. And this was actually free when I was looking, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take the free ebook. It's only a few hours long, and I'm going to be traveling, so I figured it's a great thing to listen to while traveling. I got Challenger by Adam Higginbotham, and I'm a huge space nerd, space history nerd. And so I was like, yeah, I want to learn more about the follow-up of the Challenger explosion and what people did, like how the investigation went, all of that. And then the last thing I have gotten in February is American Scary by John Dauber. And this is just about like the horror genre, which is not something I read, but my husband loves horror movies. So I figured learn more about it. I'll probably dabble a little bit more in books, but yeah, just learn more. And then I can have fun talking to him about it. So this has been my book haul for January and February. I might be getting one more Audible book here shortly because I just got a notification I had a credit, but I haven't decided on what that's going to be. Out of the 20 books I have acquired, I have already read 6 of them. So you're going to see how well I do here in the future. Has there been any new book that you've acquired recently, whether that's a purchase, a gift, or just something you picked up from the library? I would love to know. Thank you, and have a great day.